My name's Tim Warden, and I teach world history to 10th graders at Riverdale High School. I teach two types of world history. I teach AP World History, and I teach a college prep level world history, and I've been teaching here for now 11 years. This year, I'm just continuing to move forward in what I've been doing all along, which is getting students to speak, getting students to collaborate, to create, and helping the Common Core, especially with English language, is getting them also to write and to use documents, primary source and secondary source documents, to look at point of view, what the author from history is thinking, also for them to critically think about some of those questions in history that aren't always really clear. Why do we fight wars? Why is there a real power struggle throughout history for money and influence? And there's not a lot of learning going on when I'm just telling them what to know. I think the idea of discovering and education and them working together and collaborating and trying to critically think about what picture can explain what they're learning, and just they taking the lead of the learning. With the Common Core, it's really challenging me as the teacher to not be the sole person with all the knowledge, but really challenge the students to ask the big thoughtful questions and to explore and to dig deeper into the content of history. So it's less about, okay, you need to know these facts, but now it's more, okay, you're going to learn these facts as you answer these critical thinking questions, as you create this presentation or this podcast or this video. I think the element of bringing in technology with that has been awesome. I'm lucky enough to have had the opportunity to use laptops in the classroom over the last almost 5 years now. That really, I think, pushed me ahead of the game as far as Common Core goes, in that I'm constantly thinking of ways for students to collaborate and to create something. I've seen good work. It's been a good payoff. The transition into Common Core has been a challenge for students in that they've been used to being given the information that they need to know. They haven't been asked to think critically and to take the content for themselves, or to explore and use the internet or use their web resources to actually dig deeper into their knowledge. It just used to be expected that, hey, you need to know this, and you need to know this, and you need to know this, and now the Common Core is challenging us as teachers to challenge the students to ask the question, well, why? And why is it significant to now? And to actually put their history and their learning into play, into their lives. One of the challenges that students have too, especially in a rural location like Riverdale, is not everybody has the access to a laptop at home or to Wi-Fi at home. And so one of the other things that's really been neat about the Common Core and the transition of using technology in the classroom is students now aren't only having to critically think about the content, but they have to now think about, how do I collaborate with my classmates? What tools do I have? Do I use a Prezi presentation? Do I use Google Apps? Do I use WeVideo, or should we just use the iMovie program on the laptop? And then on top of that, how do I do it? And me as a teacher, I have somewhat of an idea of how to do things on the computer, and I'm somewhat competent technologically, but it never fails the students are teaching me more. Like, hey, here's how you do this. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, you're gonna have to figure it out. It never fails. I end up learning, and they end up learning a lot, just how to use the technology effectively. Teach and explain the slides, the pictures that you guys chose. And if you do so, you guys will help your classmates to learn. You guys will be ready for your weekly quiz. And most of all, you guys will show that, hey, I know my stuff. So without further ado, will the first group come on up? And today's lesson was what we call Doing World History Day. It's a jigsaw activity in that at the beginning of the week, they're assigned a portion of the text, and each small team's responsible for becoming the expert on that portion of the text. And then their job collectively together as a group is to create a review presentation that they'll teach, that they'll share their knowledge with their classmates, and with in hope that they can help their classmates understand on a level that they're used to. As a teacher, sometimes academically we talk at a very high level, but it's always neat when the students can collaborate together and present and teach each other on their own playing field. And so what they do is they're given 17 minutes to create a review presentation using either Google Presentations or Prezi. Each of them are responsible for creating a slide. Each of them are responsible for teaching and answering an overarching question that their presentation is about. While they are presenting, I use a rubric grading a variety of things, their enthusiasm, their originality, but also their command of the content, their knowledge. Was it an effective presentation? Also a little bit of their formatting, their fonts, how they have the pictures set up. I think it's important for students to know that their teacher cares about them and cares about their success, and I believe that every student is very intelligent and has amazing things to share, and I think the history itself is a really exciting topic, and history is always changing, the perspectives, the way we look at history, how it impacts us today, and I think the excitement, I want to be exciting, and I think if I can be exciting when they're presenting, when they're sharing, when they're teaching, that they're going to be excited too.